Hey, all you recovering emo kids. Amanda and Rob here with the Emo Kids Anonymous podcast. And on today's Wednesday episode, we are going to talk about everyone's favorite place to be in 2025, and that is social media, because that is what our world has come to. We're going to talk about it in relation to, obviously, the scene, how we used it to connect with bands, how bands use it to connect with us, for better or for worse, kind of the evolution of social media, and just talk about where we go from here as social media has become the king of, well, marketing, king of promotion. It's like it's networking, it's
King of
dating.
everything.
It's where you
Marketing,
go for everything.
marketing runs the world. Social media runs marketing. This episode is dedicated to our beautiful overlords, Marcus Zuckerberg, Jack
Elon Musk.
Dorsey. I was going to
Yeah.
leave that fucking guy out.
Oh, yes.
Because I know he's listening. Elon, I was going to leave you out, you fucking weird pear-shaped bitch.
Yeah, you weird parachute.
You're weird. I was trying. It's like a sick pear, but I was like, no, pears don't get sick. What's the word? Like expired. Like
Yes.
it's lumped up. It's broken. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's broken.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about social media today. But before that, I know we have some things we're gonna talk about. I know, Rob, you want to talk about some of the upcoming interviews we have done that are coming up.
Oh yeah, you read that, did you?
I sure
Yeah,
did.
I think the people. I just 2 days ago we released our Origami Angel interview. That's pretty cool.
Ryland is so awesome, guys. You need
Ryland's
to check
a
it out.
fucking sweetheart. I expected him to hang out with us for like an hour maybe.
Yeah.
And he just kept yapping and kept hanging out. He had some technical issues. And he just hopped right back on, hung out for a while longer.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetheart. I sent him I needed him to send over, hop on to fix a file, like a thing for the pod. And he's right away. He was like, oh, thank you. What a pleasure. Yada, yada, yada. Just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Sweetheart guy. Absolutely awesome. One of the highlights of my year, our year maybe,
I think so. Yeah.
And we have some really cool bands on the horizon coming up still.
Yep, we do.
Just in November.
We're booked out for
I'm
interviews.
literally telling people, I'm like, December.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple free spots in December, and it feels like for the most part, it's either, it's a lot. We got a lot of heavy hitters coming up. We got Ben Quad coming up. We got some other ones we're trying to finalize still. I'm very excited for Ben Quad. We got him with the Bernie Boomer meme. If any of you guys are watching this, if you're a salesperson, you're waiting for a follow-up here, you need to buy my sales course. You need to make them personalized memes. These are tricks I do to follow up. You send them a personalized meme. The Bernie Sanders. I'm once again, I'll put it on the screen here when I post the episode, but I'm once again asking about Ben Quad coming on Emo Kids Anonymous. It gets their attention. I used to do that when I sold cars. I'd make a meme for the customer. You know what I mean? You send it over to them. People like that touch. And then they at the very least, they're like, well, they tried. It's never funny. Like, very rarely are they funny, but it's like the effort is funny,
Yes. It's the thought that counts. And that's what keeps people coming back. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff, great stuff on the horizon.
On the vertical horizon.
The vertical horizon. The other thing we have to talk about quickly is when we were young. I went. Rob did not, and disappointed me to no end. I was so sad.
Me too.
I know you were. I know.
Me too. But how was your time, Amanda? How was your time? How was it? How was Brendan Urie? What else did you do? What else did you see? What made you happy? What made you unhappy?
All right. Well, my sister, because of her job, was able to get us some comp tickets to see Taking Back Sunday's sideshow, which was wild. Let Live was we didn't make it in time. I forget who the first opener was before Let Live, but we didn't make it in time to see them. But we saw Let Live. They were wild. Then Taking Back Sunday came on, and I know everyone gives Adam Lazar crap, but you know what? He's actually not that bad, guys.
I think
is endearing.
The mic swinging is fucking sick. They're a McRib effect there, where it's like TBS has never gone away, so it becomes like this jaw meme, but it's like they do well. They play, they get big shows. Their tours seem to sell well. They are a big band. Just they never went away. And you hear it's not even decline. Like, the guy never sang that well at the beginning live. He's putting on a show for you. I don't know what you expect here, but like the mic swinging is sick.
Yeah, and it's a lot different when you see an actual TBS show versus seeing them at a festival because everyone there is there to see them. So
Yes.
they're fans and they go crazy for them. So that was fun. And then when we were young, we showed up to Barricade for Boys Like Girls because that's my sister's favorite band, one of her many favorite bands. I did get
Boys Like Girls is her favorite band?
one of them,
I
yes.
didn't know
Uh,
Boys Like Girls had shooters like that.
Oh,
Wow.
shoot, they do. They have a fan base,
Damn.
man. It's insane.
That dude
Martin,
just looks like the biggest red
he,
flag that's
he
ever fucked.
does.
Like, if you showed me
Yes.
that guy,
And
you're
the
like,
cigarette, like on
yeah,
stage, and they're sharing
imagine,
it. Like,
imagine your daughters are in high school and they're like, oh, I'm going out with this guy, and they show you that guy's picture. You're calling the fucking cops. Like, you are,
oh, yeah.
yeah. Well,
You
you're in
would not
Kentucky.
let your
You have
daughter
a
in when
gun.
you're,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like, yeah. Do not let
not
that
at all.
motherfucker on the doorstep. Like,
Heck no. But yeah, we barricaded them. But because we did, we got to see Destroy Boys first, and I got a set list
wow,
from
the Destroy
Destroy
Boys
Boys.
rip, don't they?
Oh, they are so fantastic. I loved it. They were amazing. Uh, I've never seen them live before, so I was really interested to see what their performance was like. And so I got to see them, obviously, Boys Like Girls. And this was an interesting year for me because obviously last year with Fall Out Boy being there, I literally planned my time around seeing them. And particularly like on Sunday, I barricaded, so I didn't even get to see like anyone on any other stages. But this time I got to walk around a lot because we weren't eager to barricade for Panic. I've talked about my experience of being at Panic shows back in 2006 in my youth and how insane the fans were. And I did not want to relive any moment of that because they still have a very young fan base. There's still a lot of there's a lot of young fans there.
Which is wild to
It's
me.
wild because they haven't put, well, was 20, when was,
But that, even like that later Panic,
like
fucking,
2017? Yeah,
it's so fucking.
2022. Sorry, 2022 is their last album, but still, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
far cry from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. It's definitely not the same thing. So, got to see a lot of other bands, got to see Arm's Length for the first time, which was
Arm's Length
amazing.
rips.
Yes, they were great. Saw the Main.
The Main
Saw
rips too. I'm adding them to
oh,
my list. I made my wish list. I'm
yes,
adding the Main.
you need to,
John's
yes.
one of the best frontman
John,
that's
oh,
ever, like, that to me is the
yes,
appeal. Like, I like that the Main like evolved, but like John is just such a frontman where it's like this guy is being wasted playing in like
yes,
a pop punk. Like, he should be hosting a game show on television, or he should be Ryan Seacrest or something like that.
yeah,
Like, he's just so affable.
he is
That's a
much,
bit,
very
yeah,
much affable.
very
That's a good,
yeah, very
good
affable. That's a
adjective.
good use of a word, right?
Yeah, good adjective there. That's the right one for John. But yeah,
Yeah, it was a good. I used prevalent the other day.
oh
I
my
used
god,
prevalent. Yeah, I thought, but yeah, Kate's like, no, it's prevalent. So
prevalent.
yeah, I used it wrong, but I'm working on my words right now. The Fisher Price in this brain is
You're doing
hitting an
great,
it's
Rob.
hitting an upgrade, Amanda.
I'm glad you're getting that upgrade. Who else did I see? I saw Story of the Year. They're ones I always like to see live. Saw Somerset. We saw The Used again, and this time they did play Pretty Handsome Awkward. I was like, I wish that you didn't have to just play that one album, so you could have played.
They're pretty good, right? The Used are really good live, aren't they?
Yeah, they are pretty good live. Yeah, they're really good live. All Time Low. Saw Weezer again by no like
Weezer
not
was there.
because yeah, they were right before they were on the same stage as Panic, so they were like it was Weezer, Blink, and then Panic at the Disco. It was the weirdest thing in the world.
Which is
But
wild. Those bands all did Panic not open for Blink
yes, at
along
one
with
point in
Weezer
time.
on the
Yes.
2000 when Blink came back, that reunion tour? They were both
Yep.
openers, right? Yeah, because the date
Yeah.
I got TBS, and I think I got Asher Roth, TBS, and or Chester French, was that the other one? And Weezer at mine. Yeah, like, but I remember Panic was on some of those. There's that weird after Pretty Odd era where it's like,
Yes.
what is this band, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously it was a good time. It was really packed on day one. I heard day two did not sell out, and I had some friends. I didn't go for day two because I had to fly back to go see Pierce the
Go see
Veil in concert.
Victor Fuentes,
I need to
yes.
see Vic Fuentes. Yes, I need to see him. So, but I heard it wasn't as sold out. It wasn't sold out on day two. Um, So we'll see what happens with When We Were Young, if there's going to be a second one. But let's talk about Panic quickly. So
Yeah, let's
obviously,
talk about Panic at the
let's
fucking
fucking
disco.
disco. The crowd for Panic was insane. I was not expecting to see. I mean, I guess I was expecting there was going to be hype, but I guess I didn't realize what hype there was about Panic, particularly this album. And I realized how seminal this album is to so many people in the scene. Um, but I know a lot of people were hoping to see a reunion of sorts. This did not happen. It
Was
was
never
just
gonna happen.
Brendan
If
Urie.
you believed
Yeah.
that, you're smoking gas station
Yes.
fucking salvia. Yeah,
Yeah, there was their guitarist though. He's a younger gentleman, and my sister. We were pretty far back because, like I said, we didn't barricade, and so she's looking through her phone and looking at it. She's like, "Are we sure that's not Ryan Ross? It kind of looks like him." I was like, "No, it doesn't." She's like, "But he has the same guitar as Ryan. No one else has." I was like, "It's the same." Other people have that guitar.
Other people play the guitar, yeah.
Like, he's not the only one to play that model of guitar.
He's probably had other guitars since then too. You know what I mean?
I was like, you're being delusional. It is not Ryan Ross. So it was just Brendan Urie, but he, as always, put on quite a performance. As far as his vocal performance, he went all out. I mean, he hit some high notes during that set. I was like, are we Queen? He actually did do Queen. He did do Bohemian Rhapsody.
I was gonna say, he's embracing his role as just like, that's what
Yes,
I am. It's like, I'm a showman guy. Yes.
Yeah, that's what he did. So he did that, and it was fun to see the album played in full again. It was very reminiscent of when I saw this back in 2006, minus a few things like the extras and stuff they had on stage. And Brendan just gave performance. Now they did at the very end, after I forget what the last song was. High Hopes. After High Hopes played, then he did bring out Spencer. So Spencer is the original drummer for Panic! At the Disco. They did bring him out. And they played an encore of I Write Sins. So they did that one more time.
Ripping the song twice, like they're
Yep.
Jay-Z and Kanye. Wow.
They could get away with it, I guess. So yeah, so it was a good time. Had a lot of fun. The only gripe, one of the big gripes I have is that they don't have soda, not real soda at When We Were Young. All I wanted was a Diet Coke. They don't have any soda. They don't have soda. I only wanted was a Diet Coke. They don't have it. You know what they have? They have Slice. It's a healthy soda, and they're like 4 different flavors
It's
to choose from.
sponsored by 7-Eleven.
I know. I know. And yeah, and you can get a Slurpee at the 7-Eleven place. I did not stop to do that.
You can't get a Mountain Dew because of woke?
Yeah, yes, I guess so. It was very disappointing. All I wanted was a Diet Coke all day. So as soon as I got to my layover, I went to the restaurant, got myself lunch. I was like, I want a Diet Coke, please. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in life. I never knew I wanted one so badly until I couldn't have it when we were young. I was drinking everything I could. And I don't drink because I'll get dehydrated. But yeah, so I was like drinking lemonades and water and yeah. Anyways,
is Panic one of the greatest cases of McRibbing? Like, I think we just saw one of the greatest McRibs of all time. Seeing people all excited, yes. Like, it's like, this dude, when they broke up, when Panic went away, it was the most, like, good fucking riddance energy. Yes. People were just like, we're so sick of this guy. Like, it was like people wanted to cancel him, like, but they just couldn't really.
Tried.
And like, we're over it, basically. And like, to see people just going so wild for it now, like, it's very good McRibbing.
It is very good McRibbing.
I don't love that. Like, it's a great record. I enjoy the record. I find that exact period, like, and that exact imagery from that's the shit that the bullies used against us. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I know.
like Hawthorne, like Cut My Wrist, Black My Eyes, and the fucking circusy shit from Panic. Like, that's
or
the
shit
MCR
stuff. Yeah,
MCR a little, but like, I feel like the MCR stuff had like a slight
edge to it.
Right, it had like a slight edge where it was kind of cool. And like, I remember even, like, Black Parade came out, like, the normies love Black Parade too, but like, and
then the harder kids, like the kids that
the metalhead kids kind of fucked with it. Yeah, for some reason Mike Hem always got like a bit of a pass, but like, that Panic, like, that was like, I think of like the Pitchfork review of it is like one of my favorite Pitchfork reviews where they just like tear into it. And it's just like, damn. I find it to be, I just find it to be embarrassing in a way, which is weird, you know, like, embarrassed. I don't know if that's the word, but it's just this I don't
I think you have
know.
PTSD.
PTSD, and it's just like I think of everything through like the lens of like marketing and promotion and PR, and in my head I'm just like, we're scaring everyone else away with this shit. I'm like, guys, fucking take off the fedoras. Like you're scaring the hose away.
You're like, get all the steampunk stuff out of there. No
right?
Victorian era.
Let's get rid of the whimsical Victorian era shit. Like we're come on, like.
But you say that, but then that stuff, give it like 5-10 years in novels and things like that, it becomes very popular on the mainstream. Like those books, it's millions and millions of people buying into that stuff. And I think because of stuff like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, I think that helped pave the way for people to be more accepting of those types of genres. This is why we get some weird ass romance novels now, man.
Yeah.
Into some weird stuff.
These fucking perverts out there turning the great pure art of literature into a medium of smut, they would say. That's what a lot of people say.
I like well-written smut, but my issue is a lot of the stuff that's coming out is not well-written.
It's not well-written, no.
Yeah, and I'm like, now we're just like watering down our English and our writing, and I don't like that. Anyways, that's not even on the topic of Panic! The Disco, but
could be.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. I don't know. If you give me a minute, I could think of a way to.
When you think about A Fever Kid, there is a lot to unpack. It is one of those albums in terms of the lyrics, the inspirations. Ryan Ross wrote a lot of that album. That's why a lot of people take issue with the fact that Brendan was still using it, and why he was the only one performing it.
Talk about McRibbing, though. Yeah. Ryan Ross. Oh my God! Like, is that the most like beloved mythical figure in the world? Like, where it's just like, where is Ryan Ross? What is this? Right? Like,
he's like a unicorn you find in the wild in Las Vegas, and since the wild vines, you haven't really seen him except in random like fan encounters in Vegas. But everyone wants him. Like, if he was to do anything, it doesn't have to be with Panic. If he was to come back, I'm telling you, it would be a big deal.
This feels like such a fucking stretch for me to say. I feel dumb saying this because Oasis is here, but like,
it's true.
Now that the Gallagher brothers are back together, what's the biggest reunion? Like, it is, and I mean, Blink's back together.
Yeah.
Is like, in terms of commercial appeal, if Ryan Ross and Brendan Urie and John Walker,
who was in Vegas, but not to perform.
Yeah, he's with Spitalfield, right?
Yeah, with Spitalfield. Yeah, but a lot of people were thinking that he was.
Is it Spitalfield? That makes more sense. There's so many band names growing up, like you'd only ever read it, and I just never really knew how to like Alexis on Fire. Like people would be like, "Is it Alexis on Fire?" I don't know, like
yeah.
But like, is Brendan and Ryan? Would that be a reunion that is capable of selling out arenas in A markets? Like, could they do 2 nights at the Forum and 2 nights at MSG and fucking 2 or 3 nights at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas?
If you were to say, now I say that because a lot of OG fans really love Ryan Ross, and even younger fans who have learned a lot about the Panic! At the Disco lore and stuff like that. But there are a lot of normal fans who only associate Panic! At the Disco with Brendan Urie. But in the same way, come because of that.
They would still, like, it's the same way when Tom rejoined Blink, it was such a big deal, and they went on and played these big arena tours, and it felt like a lot of the like the hardcore fans, like, yes, Tom's back, the discourse around Skiba or something like that, but a lot of people, it feels like just, the band's back. Like, almost like that other period didn't count. Like, I think if Panic, they announced it like that, I don't think, like, if we went on Facebook where, like, the worst people we know are at, our Facebook feeds would be flooded with people excited about the Panic one, and I don't think they'd be diving into the discourse of, like, well, yeah, and then the fucking, I don't want to hear that high hopes, Brendan Urie, Frank Sinatra,
yes.
They're not going to be saying that. They're just going to be like, oh my God, like, Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Like, that would be the
pretty odd. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be the appeal. Yes. Like, I don't think, like, those other songs, like, it's weird because in the 2010s, like, they're so much bigger commercially, but culturally they feel fucking irrelevant. They kind of felt like they were the Maroon 5 of our world,
Yeah, that
like,
sounds good.
Fall Out Boy kind of walked that line, but Fall Out Boy, I think, walks in a way where they were also like, we're trying this, we're trying that. There's a little more art. There's a lot
Because
more
of their
artistic merit.
influences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
more. There's more weight to Fall Out Boy to me. But like with like that, High Hopes and those big Hallelujah. Like okay, the Hallelujah song kind of rips, but like those songs, they feel unimportant in the grand scheme of the world, So like if they were to announce a full comeback, it would be people hyped on that Fever era stuff. It wouldn't be
Yes.
like, yeah, we don't want Death of a Bachelor, I don't think.
Yeah, not many people would probably be wanting. I say that, and I know there are people who love that album.
Sure, but the people that love that
Yes.
album, I think also probably love all Panic. Like
Panic.
they're, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't think there's just is there a crowd that's just like, yeah, that fucking Fever and Pretty Odd shit, it's dog shit. What they really got
No,
me with, yeah, they
there is
really got me
zero
with
people
Hallelujah.
who think, yeah, there's zero people who I think this is gospel. Is that what you're talking about? That song?
Right? Yeah, or something like that. Or yeah,
Yeah,
like
this is
people hop on
I
with
love
because of
that.
This Is Gospel or the Mona Lisa song or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
love
Like
that album. Yeah, Too Weird to Live, too
that's the one, yeah.
rare to live, too rare to die. Yeah, I love that album. Yeah, that's a good album for me. Yeah, I don't think that would be the case. I think that regardless of where the pinpoint, the appeal is always going to be the first albums. I mean, even like with My Chemical Romance, no one's talking about Danger Days. They're coming back to see the Black Parade, right?
Which is still
They're
impressive too, because at that point, I mean, for My Chem's standards, that's a late career album. You know what I mean? Like that's the back half.
Yeah, that is the back half. I guess so, because they only had really
They only have four,
4
so like
albums.
that's the third quarter, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say that with if Fall Out Boy went away for 10 years and they came back, no one's coming because of Mania.
Yeah, they're not clamoring for Centuries, even though Centuries is the biggest song. Yeah.
Yeah, they're clamoring for From Under the
Yeah.
Cork Tree,
Yeah.
If Any on High. Yeah.
Yeah, they want Sugar, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was expecting, this is filmed on a Monday, and Monday is when Panic announced their anniversary deluxe vinyl for Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Already sold out. Thank God, because that is not $200 that I need to spend. But I know a lot of people are expecting them to announce a tour, maybe. And I know that also their live in Denver is now streaming on YouTube, so you can watch that if you haven't yet.
Was it not
But
already? I didn't realize it wasn't already.
it was not, yeah. So I guess they put it out there, or at least maybe not an official version. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I swear I've watched it at least.
You
Yeah.
probably have,
Okay.
but probably not
just
the
like
official.
a DVD
Exactly.
rip or something. Okay.
I would say that, yeah, exactly. So, but a lot of people were expecting to do a tour announcement. I do wonder if there is going to be something on the horizon. I mean, with the reception that they got at When We Were Young, I can see Fueled by Robb and Brendan talking about a tour. I'm interested to see if Spencer would come back for it in any capacity as the drummer. I mean, obviously, I imagine that, because he left was it 2016 is when he left? I think 2015, somewhere around there.
Yeah, around then.
Yeah, he left then. Yeah, so there's a lot of songs and such that he doesn't know, so he have to learn a lot of the newer catalog, but it would be cool to see him come back just for like a tour. And it would be I think it would be a tour along the lines of a My Chem tour if they did come back and do an anniversary tour for Fever You Can't Sweat Out. I think it would be the same kind of rollout as My Chemical Romance. It would just be a few cities, big places. I think they could see them try that. I think they would try that. We'll see in the next few weeks if anything comes of it.
In a scale between My Chem and the Jonas Brothers, where would the Panic reunion land in terms of like actual reception and sales and like people actually? Because like the Jonas Brothers did the same thing. Like we're gonna play all these ballparks, and then they downgrade basically every show to arenas. I guess
but they did have
Fall Out Boy doing 40,000 tickets? I mean, is Panic doing 40,000 tickets? Yeah.
I think if you limited the amount of venues, because that's like Jonas Brothers, they had quite a lot of venues in there.
Yeah.
Whereas My Chem didn't. So if you wanted to see it, you had to travel, and people were willing to travel. I think you would see that with Panic because of the fervent fan base that they have. That's very much like MCR. The amount of people in the 80s, some degree weather in Vegas, dressed in top hats, long coats, corsets, the whole thing. There's every other person was wearing the outfits that represent a Fever You Can't Sweat Out. And I'm thinking you guys have to be dying inside right now because it's so fucking hot. But they have a fervent fan base enough And I think a lot of normal people would want to see those songs because the later half of the Panic catalog is very popular with, like, normal people, um,
Normies and kids,
the
yeah.
normies and kids, and then your back half, the elder emos and the young emos who have found a fever and just love that aesthetic.
So could they sell out if they did a show? Could Panic possibly do a show at the football stadium in Vegas? Allegiant Stadium? Let's say it's one of the smaller stadiums in the NFL, but let's say stadium set up for a show, 50,000 people or so.
Hmm. I think so. I think that because I think that because of When We Are Young, and I know
That's what
it's
I was going
what,
to say. You're saying everyone else is
80,000?
80,000 people are there. If let's say even let's say it seems like it's more because you're seeing it. Let's say 20,000 of them were dressed like that.
Yeah.
Realistically, still 50,000 of them are excited to see it. But how many of those people are also buying the tickets? Which, if they're playing a show, the ticket would be less than When We Were Young.
Oh, yeah,
But
100%,
there's
yeah.
also
Well
20 other things drawing them to When We Were Young than just Panic. Would Panic alone?
exactly.
I mean, it wouldn't just be Panic. Obviously, they'd probably put together a decent
A good
show.
lineup, yeah,
Yeah.
they probably put a good lineup on there. I think they would because when we were young, obviously not everyone can travel to Vegas, travel and go there. The expense of the show is costly. Granted, tickets with dynamic pricing probably would end up being
Yeah.
pricey too.
Yeah.
But if it's closer where you could drive to it for a lot of these fans, these younger fans who can't get their parents to convince them to go to Vegas for a show, but maybe, oh, well, you want to come to Jersey? Do you do you want to
Yeah.
come to the MetLife? Like then maybe they would convince them to do that instead. So
Brian Urie, call us for your tour routing. We
yeah,
got you.
we'll help you out. We'll give you some great places to go. But yeah, so overall, when we were young was a great time. I enjoyed myself immensely. It's nice getting to just walk around and not barricade for anyone. Oh, the other thing, Offspring, they brought the original actor who played the
The
white
actual
guy.
guy? They
Yeah,
brought that guy?
they brought him back out in the outfit and stuff to sing during Pretty Fly for a White Guy. I was like, okay, that's cool, I
Good for
guess.
that guy. Good for
It
that
was
guy, yeah.
it was a weird mix of bands. Like last year made sense because there were a lot of bands that were part of, like, an era, right?
I was gonna say last year
And
felt like very like 2005,
yes.
2003 to 2007 or so, like
Yes.
Warped Tour era coded. Yeah.
Yes, and then 2023 felt very pop punk to me, especially with Green Day and
It was
Blink
Green Day and
headlining.
Blink, right?
You had
Yeah.
Sum 41, like, Yellow like, there was a lot of pop punk there. This one was a weird mix of bands. Like, you had The Offspring, Weezer, like, these older bands, Bad Religion, The Movie Life, and then you have, like, Arm's Length was a fairly new band, right?
Yeah.
Um, and you have the Ice Nine Kills, which is completely nothing like Panic at the Disco, except for
Ugh.
theatrics. That's about as much I think they have in common.
Ice Nine Kills, not good behavior. Not good
No.
behavior.
They did have Kubla Khan, also not good behavior. There were some heavier, like, metalcore
What's
that
the
I was
Kubla Khan thing? Is that the one where the guy's like a
I think
Nazi or
so, a
something? Or
Nazi, yeah, something along those lines,
he
yeah.
subscribes to the National Socialist Party beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it
Great
was a
behavior.
weird mix of bands this year, and I think that has to do with when we were young, not knowing where to go next.
The well's running dry.
Yes,
Because
and that's
you need
why
an appeal. You need like a novelty. You need like a loose theme or something to keep people interested each year.
yeah, because, like, Louder Than Life, you know it's gonna be heavier rock bands, and it may
Uh,
be the same ones every couple of years, but, you have a theme there. Same with Sick New World, when we were there were, posters plastered about New Sick New World, coming back next year to
oh, they
Fort
just
Worth
took
and
this
Las
year
Vegas.
off.
Yes, they just took this year
Okay.
off. They're
Okay.
coming back with 2 shows, Fort Worth, Las Vegas. So I wonder if When We're Young will take a break this year to regroup because Warped Tour's back and a lot of these bands are touring or have already toured. So
It's the
we'll
thing, like
see
they're not really filling the same void now that
that they were
not that Warped even fills the same void because Warp's a different thing. Like When We Were Young is
yeah.
very nostalgia driven. but like you can only do nostalgia driven with within an exact time period so many times. Like you can't just do that every year with like, oh, these were your favorite bands in 2004. By like the second or third one, people are gonna be like, okay, like we've fucking seen it.
We've seen it, yeah.
You only bring in so many different bands because like,
and who's gonna headline like that? Like my sister and I were talking about that. Who would be the headliner next year? Would Green Day come back? Probably not.
it's someone like that. No, it'll be
Like
repeats.
MCR won't. I
No.
mean, Fall Out Boy probably won't do that again. Panic won't do that again. They'll probably be touring. So
All Time
Paramore,
Low's not big
but
enough
no,
too.
no,
Paramore already did it, right?
2022, yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know if Haley Williams will be doing a Paramore next
Yeah, that
year.
might not be a thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
who else is even in that grand.
Like I think Pierce the Veil's grown, but I don't think they're big enough to be headliners yet.
Not for that spot at that festival. That's so
No.
nostalgia driven. They're too modern. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know usually within the next week or
They
this
usually
week or
announce
next
it right
week, they
away,
announce,
yeah.
if they're going to have what the next lineup's going to be. So we'll be interested to see what's happening there. But yeah, overall, it was fun. But I did miss you, Rob. I was wishing that I had gotten to meet you in person, but
I
it's
miss
fine.
you too, pal. Yeah.
I know.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. All right. What else do we have before we dive into social media?
Let's dive into social media. We got a lot to say about social media.
We do. Yeah, social media, everyone's favorite method in the 2000s to
All the
talk
kids are
to
using it.
bands.
Yeah.
All the kids are using it.
Yeah. Yeah. When was your first time using social media, Amanda?
Well, I guess it depends on what you consider social media because I was
Ooh, what do we consider social media?
like, is it interacting with other people? So when I was about 12 or 13, AOL was how I would access the internet. So AOL and Semester AIM was a big thing for me to connect with my friends. And then there were message boards and AOL chat groups that you
17
would
female of California.
you would enter in that felt risky to do at all. And that was a form of social media, right?
I was
Just
gonna say,
chatting
yeah.
with people from the other places in the world, not well regulated at all. I just have a good head on my shoulders, I guess. But then
I think you might have been compared to now. We might have been better off with the weirdos in the chat rooms than we are with the Russian and Chinese disinformation bots, honestly. Like,
that's true. The disinformation is huge.
a couple kids are going to fall through the cracks. That's the cost.
That is the cost. But I think the first official would be MySpace. That was my first official like social media. And the thing is, it's like by the time I got on MySpace, it wasn't very long. I think I got on MySpace the summer of 2004. And I was all over it because my friends had discovered it. So I got on it and I was making my MySpace page all cool and following a bunch of bands and bands following me. But then I went to college, and because my college was a like pretty high up in the NCAA, let's put it that way, right? I got Facebook in 2004, and that became my.
You got the Facebook with your.
I got the Facebook
with your @edu. Fucking
yes.
Yeah.
When people would poke you, when boys would poke you on Facebook, and I'm like,
my Aunt Judy, Big Booty Judy, she still pokes me on Facebook sometimes. I'm like,
that's
Big
still
Booty
a
Judy,
feature.
Stop that. Yeah. Big Booty Judy, I don't think you know the implications of that. We don't poke.
Yeah, poking is a flirtatious method of
it's borderline sexual assaults. Yeah.
At these days I feel like it is. But yeah, so that was my first experience with social media. First started with MySpace, but then really Facebook. I did a bulk of my stuff because that's how you interact with everyone on campus. When I was in college, that's where
Did you have social media? Did you have Facebook before it had the news feed?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God! When I interviewed Scarlet
yeah.
Street, when you weren't here, and he literally was bringing it up to talk shit, like to be like, he's like, I don't remember, I wasn't around back then, I'm too young. I'm like, bro, I don't remember a Facebook without a news feed. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I do remember, and I do remember a Facebook with no news feed, and people randomly messaging you, and it was a weird time. It was a weird time, and like it's funny because I know I had Facebook profile pictures, but my Facebook only goes back to 2006, which is like when it shows like my previous profile pictures. I guess anything from 2004 to 2005 doesn't count. I don't know. I guess they just like, yeah, I was like, that's not my first profile picture. That was 2006. But I guess when Facebook maybe switched over, added their new features, because then I think by then, no, when does the news feed come on?
I don't know. I didn't get Facebook till early, like spring 2007. I got Facebook.
Okay.
I remember I went on like I was on a Rotary trip, and the other kids were nerds, and they had Facebook. And I was like, all right, well, I need one of these, I guess, you know, like I'll figure it out. Like, we didn't have like, you talk about like AIM. In Canada, we used MSN, like Microsoft. We used MSN Messenger and MSN Chat. I didn't have AIM. I remember a kid asked me if I had AIM when I was a freshman in San Diego. I thought it was like a sex thing he was asking me or something. I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, brother, like I got real big AIM. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know what he meant. So I didn't get onto MySpace till like almost, like I had one in like 2005 or so that I made when I was in San Diego. But like we had this thing called Nexopia. That was like, it was like really shitty MySpace. Like you could customize, you could upgrade. Like, 'cause MySpace didn't have like a plus feature, did it?
It did not, no.
Social media in general didn't have like plus features until like Elon started fucking doing that,
right?
Oh
yeah,
like,
there was, but paid to like make your stuff better. Yeah, no.
So with Nexopia, I remember you could literally mail them like a dollar, like it was like $5 or something. You'd mail it to them, and you would get Nexopia Plus, and you could see who clicked on your profile, and you could like edit the colors and stuff, like a lot. Like you could edit the colors, I think, with the basic one, but it was like a very basic. You had some options, whereas like with the upgrade one, you got the full HTML layout. So that was similar, but there wasn't like the music promotion thing on there. That's what made MySpace so fucking cool, right? Like in general.
Yeah, that's what it made it really cool. But then, in terms of, so I was like looking at statistics, and it's interesting because MySpace was the first social media site to hit 1 million monthly users in 2004. So that's about the height of when I jumped into MySpace, right? But then
1 million is so small, yeah.
It is like, oh God, I think they say like Twitter gets like 20 million like a week or something like that. Like that's like
in
the numbers
visits or tweets.
In like monthly active users, like
okay
20 million, like and it's growing, right? So
I was gonna say, even that number feels low, even, you know what I mean? Like I mean, there's 300 million, like I would think 100 million people in America, 100 million people in America, I would assume, are using social media. We're eliminating the kids and the really olds.
Yes.
And the couple million off-grid people,
Yeah, it drives most of our lives. But then when Facebook comes out, by 2012, Facebook took most of the market share. Like MySpace, Friendster, which I was not on Friendster, all those kind of died down because Facebook, I guess it's just the seamlessness and the like compactness of just the look and feel of Facebook.
I think it was just the seamlessness of it, and like I think to some degree the seriousness of it added a lot, because like our generation was getting, and it felt like, oh, MySpace is fun, this and that, and then like Facebook felt like a LinkedIn Junior or something like that, where it's like, oh, like I'm going to college now, like this is more
cool.
This is more elegant. Like there's something a little fancier about it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I felt really cool having a Facebook, and like none of my friends did because they went to state schools, and they're not
the dumbs at the state schools. Yep. You will never get this. You will never get this. And then Facebook,
they got it.
The irony of Facebook starting out strictly for like higher education institutional learners, and it becoming the place for your dumbest fucking welder high school classmate to spout disinformation. Like, it's wild.
It's a wild path that we're on. So that's what happened. But other than that, there were other, LiveJournal was one I never posted because I was not a blogger, but I visited Pete Wentz's LiveJournal quite often.
Yes,
in my
I would
time.
Visit others. Yes,
I visited other people's LiveJournals. But yeah, let's talk about
MySpace. Yeah, and using it for bands. So I was in a band in the MySpace days, and I was in a band in the pretty much every era of social media up until the pandemic. And MySpace was so fucking revolutionary in so many ways. Even to this day, I will say the only thing that's come close is maybe TikTok. With the band feature, at this time, music, unless it was like a small local band that played, like unless it was that, like artists, there was 20 layers of like barriers between you and your favorite
Yes,
artists. You know what I mean? Like there
all
was no
times.
connection with them. And I mean, yeah, it sounds crazy now because every artist has social media, but that was
Yeah,
very novel at the time, was like you could directly connect with these people. For smaller bands, there was no like there was no fatigue from consumers or from
yep,
potential listeners. You could send people like on as a band, you could, and it was very like open sourced, I think is the word, where like
yeah,
you could like there was a lot of like bot, honestly, there's a lot of bot activity on MySpace where you could have these
oh yeah,
bots basically send these spam messages to people. Once you send these friend requests, like when I was in a band, I'd find a band we were playing with or a band that I liked that I thought we were similar enough to, and I would go through the people that were commenting like on their
yep,
wall, stuff like that, and I would add them, or I would send them
yeah.
whatever, was it the friend request, or you'd follow them and they'd follow you back. Well, how did it
It
go
was a
on
friend
MySpace?
request back in the day. Oh yeah, I
Yes.
think it was yeah.
So I'd send them a friend request, and a lot of times people would accept it, and you'd just send the thing over, and people were still like, it was still so novel and new to be like, hey, this band reached out, that like people would legitimately be willing to check you out. Like it
Yep,
really democratized the game.
it did. And then you couple that with the fact that now we have the rise of stuff like LimeWire, all of this like, you know, music that you can kind of stream before Spotify, but you had a way to like put MP3s of your music out there now, right?
Yes,
You had a way
yes.
to do that. You did not have that before
That
pre-social media.
I didn't think of that at all while doing this. Like while
Yeah,
thinking of like, yeah, like I mean, nowadays if you're in a band nowadays, you just need to use DistroKid or TuneCore or something like that. You pay $30 a year and you get all your music uploaded automatically. Before this point, there was no way to get people to hear your music unless you were
handing
sending it to
CDs
radio
out.
stations, handing
Mhm.
out CDs, or getting stores to carry it. Like it all of a sudden you could get it out there, and everything to a degree felt like it was on the same playing field. You know what I mean? Like you'd
Yep.
find a band on there. Yeah, there was play counters, like when and
Yeah,
let me
they
just say
were.
a lot of bands I knew they would doctor the shit out of those. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, damn.
people had bought the shit out of their play. I remember I had a buddy who was in a band. I won't mention it, but he did come up in a recent episode with handguns, and he would do it on theirs, and you could tell. I remember we were joking one day, like 2009, about how like you could tell the days like where he was at like his normal job or something, because like it
Yes.
would go from there'd be a couple thousand plays every day, because it would show you the plays that day and all time plays. And like, it wasn't until like 2 or 3 p.m. it would jump from like, the 30, 40 plays to like 3,500 kind of thing. And it's like,
Yep.
but
That's interesting. It's a quick jump. How'd that happen?
right. Yeah. A lot of people listening at once. It hit 1 a.m. in Indonesia and the scene got turned and everyone just threw that shit on and they started vibing out to Stereo
In
Summer.
Indonesia, yeah.
Um, no, but it, you did have this really cool access, and it felt almost like, in hindsight, as social media grows, it almost felt like it set you up for failure later on because of how easy MySpace was to connect with
Yes.
people. Because we said it right
Yes.
before we started recording, there was like social media and there's social networking. MySpace is social media, TikTok social media, Instagram is social media now. To it, Twitter, the same thing, but like Facebook was social networking. Like it wasn't
Yes.
designed to be friends with people that you weren't really friends with in the same way. You're not sending out
No.
requests. And as an artist, like those features weren't built in the same way. Like as
No.
a band on Twitter, there was nothing you could do special. Instagram, same thing. There was nothing you can do on those in the
No.
same way of having like full personalization and full like direct connectivity. Like you can't click on an Instagram page and up until very recently hear their music, you know?
Well, and Instagram itself, when it first even came out, it wasn't even what it was today. It was like a way for you it's like basically posting your Polaroids, like,
Yeah.
onto a feed, and it was not about making videos, it was not about real like, advertising your music, it was a different aesthetic completely, which a lot of people gravitated towards, especially people in their late 20s. like myself, things like who are going for a weird aesthetic. So that really shifted that. And then eventually, so definitely once it got acquired by Facebook, it started to become what we see Instagram like. They're trying to become some like weird hybrid mix of Facebook and TikTok, I think, is like the end goal there.
I think they're all just chasing TikTok, you know?
They all,
They're all just
oh yeah,
kind of they're
everyone
trying to
wants a
copy.
reel.
Yeah,
Everyone
they
wants
want
reels or shorts or whatever, you
they
name
want
it.
an algorithm. They want something to keep you glued that way. Because that's like
Exactly.
MySpace. It's really cool. Like for the most part, the internet and your real life were kind of divided. You know what I mean? Like you had like online friends, and it was this whole thing. And yeah, you probably had people at school you're friends with on there, but you could be like a totally different person.
Yep.
And then for a while there, for like a good 10 years or so, social media was like the opposite. It was very driven directly by who you actually were, kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, it was very authentic for a short bit of time. I think that as social media became a wider net and it wasn't all about just connecting with people you know, then people who you know your people, because that's essentially what it was, right? I would go and all my classmates, we all know each other. Friend request. Oh, and then me and you hung out, and I met your friend from another college. All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
friend request. Now we know each other. Now we have only interacted at one time, but now we're friends on Facebook because of that.
Facebook,
But I
honestly,
would
for
like,
a while, it was like a Pokemon thing where it's like you gotta collect them all. It's like how many friends could you have? Like there
oh,
was like
I was very, yes, I took my friend number
likes,
very
things like
seriously.
likes and share. Like engagement wasn't really like a thing that drove anything yet. Like your
It's how
dick swinging
popular
came
are
down.
you?
Like how popular are you? You know what I mean? Then it was like you see people that went the other way and they'd have like 35 Facebook friends. And it's
Yes,
like oh like they're super hipster. Like they really
exactly.
they're not about that life.
And maybe that is what helped drive social media to where we're at today, where it's all about presenting another version of yourself in order
Yeah.
to gain followers, in order to gain likes and reposts and things like that. Because as you start to be able to see that stuff and then compare, because we are humans and that is what we do by nature, and everything's a popularity contest. It was in high school, it was in college to an extent, it is in the celebrity world. They were pitting like Britney Spears against Christina Aguilera and
Yeah.
Sync versus Britney or Backstreet Boys. It's always popularity contest. That's how we operate. And so I think that, and then once they started to loosen the barriers on these social medias where you can engage with other people, like Tumblr, for example.
Yes.
Tumblr came out where Facebook was moving in a different direction, and a lot of the younger kids weren't feeling it as much. And they wanted a place to blog. It wasn't really live journaling anymore, but they wanted a place to share, to blog, share pictures, things of that nature. And
A
that's where
little more
Tumblr
creative, a little
came.
more scrapbooky, a little
Yes.
less ones and zeros.
And a lot of bands, found their way onto Tumblr as well
I
in
think
order to
Tumblr's,
engage.
yeah, I mean, MySpace really influential to music. I don't think for the most part Twitter, Instagram, them were, I don't think not until Tumblr does
Yeah.
like music kind of take a forefront because people could really, it was really like personality driven. And much like MySpace, it was like, there's your real life and there's your online you know what I mean? Like Tumblr felt like very like, almost private in a sense. Like people were
Yeah.
kind of like had their own thing going on there where they could express themselves more. Whereas like you're
Yeah.
saying like
Express their
Instagram,
opinions
Facebook, those are more like I gotta let these people I went to high school with know that I'm not a total fucking loser
that
and
I
I can
succeeded.
afford a vacation too. Like, look, I have a new vehicle. Like,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
We'll leave
Which
out the bad
eventually,
stuff. Yes.
yeah, which eventually is what Instagram has become as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so Tumblr really, I think, became the next focal point for bands to start engaging because they could have diatribes. I mean, and discourse with their fans and reposts, and then fans are posting edits on there, fan
Yep.
edits, like things that you didn't post on Facebook, things you didn't post like on MySpace, because
Yep.
MySpace is all about you and your profile, but not about your art, not about the memes you made, not about the videos you're posting, not about your theory about Peaky. Because I've seen all the Tumblr posts about that.
You're like, I've seen them. I've read them.
I've
We
seen them all.
discussed you earlier and we were talking about the lazy writing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've seen all of those posts. That's where you could do it, was on Tumblr, right?
Mhm.
That was what that was designed to do, and that helped create fandom, and then not just for bands, but for other mediums as well. Because I use that for like my Doctor Who fandom, Vampire Diaries, whatever weird fandom I was into. Tumblr
That's
was
the
a
thing,
good avenue.
like fandom. I mean, we've talked about it before, and stuff. Like fandoms and super fans and stuff like that have always existed. You know what I mean? Like the Grateful Dead had people following them around, but like some of these social medias, I think one, it gets normies into that. I mean, look at like Taylor. I mean, you know, like there's a lot of like you know, very normal motherfuckers where like that's their obsession, stuff like that, and you know. But like social media makes it very easy for normie folk and like younger people. It like integrates you into that earlier and really like normalizes it. Where it's like when you like a band, this is how it is. You know, like you obsess over, you kind of dive into this. Whereas there wasn't as much of a thing before. Things were maybe more on the outskirts for like like nerd culture has always existed. Those people have always been like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, they have been. Yeah.
conventions for nerd stuff has always been a thing. But like you start seeing it like that nerd culture approach kind of starts taking over with everything else as well.
Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be the Hunting Wife show on Netflix. There's some cult out there all about that show, which is not about nerds at all.
Well, yeah,
or
we got
music.
people obsessing over Love is Blind like it's guided by voices. Yeah, like there is, yes.
Yeah. And I think that's where like Tumblr, because Facebook was not a place for you to write your diatribes or to post your like art. I had seen people try, but wasn't really what Facebook was for. Instagram was, I think, a good place for where we started to see people presenting another life, because we're on Facebook, you posted all your pictures of your parties. I have pictures on Facebook I should probably delete of maybe me doing keg stands. I've
deleted photos that will get me fucking so canceled in the like I can't even tell you what they were.
I understand.
I like it just because like it just said different things were funnier.
A different time.
A different time.
Yeah,
it's just like a joke's
a
joke. A joke was just about being as like offensive as you could be. Sorry, I need to try one of these delicious Zemos that were sent to me by my friends over at Zemos. Clip. But like social, like there was just like this freedom to it back then. You know what I mean? Like me and my buddy Tyler, it's like we have a running joke where like he has a file on like, I mean, probably doesn't have a file, it's probably just in his photo gallery of like bad tweets like all of us made back in the day. You know what I mean? Like thankfully I never had any tweets that are that bad. Like I never tweeted like racist shit or anything like that. But like he'd have like ones from our buddies or something like that where just like shit that just does not fly. It's like, you know, and he'd send it kind of, and it's just like, we have a joke where it's like, we need to create like a business like Robb's removal service where like when you're either you just became famous or you're graduating college, you hire someone to go through your social media and clean it out. Because like, that like up until like 2012, 2013 or so, maybe a little later, if you're like, you know, in your 20s right now, this shit was just a free-for-all. Yeah. And there really was no political correctness in any sort of way at all.
Yes.
Like, at all.
That's why Twitter, when it first appeared on the scene, with only 100, was it 140 to start off with?
140 characters, yeah.
Yeah, 140 characters. Delicious. People had to really condense what they had to say, and a lot can be taken out of context. Yeah. And a lot of stuff can get really inappropriate really fast when you only have 140 characters to tweet. So Twitter was like the wild, wild west when that came out, just for expression of your opinion and things of that nature. But you had Facebook where everyone was posting pictures of their vacations, the parties they went to show that you were cool. And then Instagram became a place to like take that stuff and make it artistic. And then that's where we started to see this shift into like the influencer culture and see people like posting these perfect lives or these other lives. Yes. Because that was what you could do on Instagram. That was kind of like the transition for that.
It's interesting because like we're talking about what all these platforms are for, and at no point are we saying anything about music. I think that shows like how fucking dead these platforms were if you were an artist and how difficult it was to promote on these compared to like
2010s.
Like in the 2010s, like it was like I mean, with Wilding Hearts, like Facebook was impossible because Facebook would suffocate your shit. Like if you didn't pay to run something as an ad, if you had like if we had 20,000 followers on Facebook and I posted on Facebook, 73 people would see it. They would suffocate it unless you paid $10 or $20 or $200 to boost it. Yes. Twitter back then, you could tweet, but it wouldn't leave your fucking algorithm. It wouldn't leave your echo chamber unless people retweeted it. Like you could, like, okay, you release new music, you can share it. Well, on MySpace, you can add it to your profile. You can click on it right away. It's embedded in this and that. With
Yep.
Twitter, with everything else, you need to click on other stuff and open other shit. And this sounds fucking insane, but like the more steps people have to do with that kind of stuff, the less they're likely to do it. I got to open up this thing and it's going to open another app, or it's going to like open a website that I'm not familiar with. And now I need to listen to your music on this instead. Like this is
not
too many steps. Like they're just not going to do it. Like, you know.
Yeah, you saw the bands, like, because MySpace was still around in the 2010s, but it was very much, at that point, it wasn't a common thing for a lot of people to use. It was a niche thing for, I would say, definitely the scene kids of the 2010s. They were using MySpace, of course, still a way to share music, and then Tumblr was another place I saw, because you could upload videos, right? So you could upload videos of concerts or like, clips of people singing, things like that. So it was another way to engage was in Tumblr as well. So I think that's why you started to see those two were really the places that bands had to kind of, migrate to in order to start attracting a fan base. It wasn't until you started to be able to post videos and use
Yes.
like music on your post, particularly like in Instagram, and then honestly, TikTok just blew, I think, everything out of the water when that came
Because
out.
Instagram, you couldn't post a video at all on Instagram for the longest time, right?
No, you could
At
not.
all, at all, yeah.
At all.
And you didn't have music overlaid on anything. Facebook,
Nope.
same thing. It didn't even really like embed well.
And the algorithms, like, as far as the For You, like Facebook, it wasn't there. Like, I mean, even now, if you look at my For You, like, as far as like people I should follow, it's really just based off of people I already know, right? It's not like, well, you might be like, like this. And Instagram's For You back in the day wasn't necessarily as sophisticated as, say, like, TikTok's For You page knows you way too freaking well.
Yeah, very well. I think like with the 2010s, things get so like mainstream slot becomes like gets really rewarded. Whereas with MySpace, I think more niche stuff, like people get really crazy loud about something. You know what I mean? Like a panic, like, or even like, I mean, Jeffree Star was so famous on early MySpace kind of thing. And it's just like people are like fervent fans. Like there's something weird here to latch on to. Whereas in the 2010s, that didn't exist. Like I think of like music of social media in the 2010s. I think of like kids on the street in Brazil playing like a Metallica cover or something very well, or like some gimmicky stuff like the postmodern jukebox thing where they're covering the songs and doing it a different style. Like I feel like that was the only type of music content that gained any traction in that time.
Well, I would say the other thing, and we haven't talked about it yet, for bands was YouTube, and then of course Vine, RIP, because YouTube, when it first started out, it was a weird, wacky place where you saw some crazy videos. Kelly's Shoes was one that we just watched a lot when I was younger. Shoes. Let's get some shoes.
I'm trying to think. Early
or what in my butt? That was another one we watched.
Early YouTube, it's great. I think I mentioned one time on here before where like there's this thing where it's like YouTube got such a bad rap because the first people, it's weird because like, I mean, people are most likely watching this on YouTube right now. Everything in the world is on YouTube now. The NFL is on YouTube. But like when YouTube debuted, it was the only thing on YouTube was like the most cringy fucking theater kids you knew and stuff like that. It was like very like
borderline inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, like very weird stuff. Like there was, whereas like, like we're in the age range we grew up where like we're like the last of the journalism is a different thing. That's a thing. Like there's institutions and there's the news and this and that and there's TV,
not everyone can be a journalist
and there's film and making videos. That's not the same. That's the and because the only people willing to do that back then were like just I think of those early like when like things like VCon and stuff like that start. Like a lot of those early YouTubers are fucking embarrassing, but it's like they were the trailblazers. They were the only ones willing to really do it because people like us were maybe like, oh, that's not
and how legit. How would you have done it with your digital camera, with your camcorder? How are you going to record it? Yeah, that's like, and that's not as accessible as, say,
that too. Wow, yeah, you didn't really. If I wanted to make a YouTube video back then, it would have looked like shit because I would have done it on a fucking. I would have done it on my BlackBerry or something like that. Like it.
Oh God, yeah.
With YouTube though, like with bands, like okay, bands were able to be on there, and at some point in the 2010s, mid 2010s, let's say, like the vlogger thing really takes over. Like you're saying on
Yes.
Instagram, there's like the influencers where it's very pretty people, but at this point, like the idea of just having people partake in your entire fucking mundane day is when that really takes over with like, like
Yes.
Logan and Jake and those kind of guys where
And
it's like you
Brian, yeah.
yeah, you can be involved in like their entire life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like taking away what Instagram and them did where it's like everything here is fake. Like there was like
Yes.
a mundane reality to it, like a
Yeah.
Kardashianism where it's just like, bro, we're just sitting around watching people talk about what they're gonna have for dinner. Like this isn't interesting. But like people like
Yeah.
there's like a voyeuristic thing attached to it maybe where it's just like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
it is. And you can also it's also where I would dare say the idea of like trends and things started because I the Harlem Shake, that's the best example I could come up
oh
with.
yeah. I fucking hate
Because some of
fucking
the first videos I've seen was like all time low and Pierce the Veil doing the Harlem Shake thing with and it's like do you do and then you start out with all of them doing something else and then it
and then it
cuts
cuts to
and
the
they're
Harlem
going
Shake,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are
so
those the
that's
first
something
trends? Wow, like Harlem Shake, the
sure
fucking
there's something
clanking assholes. Like I'm
yeah, and that stuff was on YouTube because you couldn't really put on Instagram. You could probably put on Tumblr, but for the most part, you saw stuff on YouTube or Vine. But Vine, again, when that came out, it was what, an 8-second video?
It was there's 7 or 8 seconds. Yeah, they're short.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Even Twitter, like I don't know at what
You
point in the
could not.
20. No, you'd have to. It would be like a twit pic or a twit vid link.
Yeah,
Like it
you
wouldn't
wouldn't
it
even be
wouldn't
able
just
to post it
embed on
directly
it.
there.
Even right now, like when we post, like I post our episode on YouTube. If I type the stuff in, then go put the link, it won't show the thing. Like I have to go make a separate one that's just the link to have it pop up. Like it's still
Yeah.
not designed for you to easily like partake in media. That's not just reels to
Yeah.
put there.
And then of course, if you upload a video into your tweet, it can only be what, 90 seconds, and anything longer than that, you have to pay for an
Really?
upgrade. Yeah,
I've never
because
tried to upload a video longer
I
than 90 seconds.
well, as someone who posts a lot of concert videos on I have tried to do
These
that.
motherfuckers are gonna be so mad if they don't get to hear the bridge in the ship.
They need the
Standard, okay?
bridge,
Yeah,
yes.
they need the kids.
Yeah, they really want that bridge. They want the whole damn thing.
They need the whole
Uh,
thing.
yeah, so YouTube was a good place for bands to start putting their stuff out, and that's how a lot of people like Justin Bieber, like YouTube for music, that's where they could find a place to be heard by people who otherwise wouldn't hear them, was on YouTube, because the
Wow.
YouTube
Yeah.
algorithm was working, and that's where Justin Bieber was. I know there's, is it Maddie and
You ever
can't
wonder what
remember the
kind of
other
shit Scooter Braun was clicking on in the first place to have 13-year-old
I
boys
don't
popping
wanna
up on
even
his
think about
YouTube?
that.
I'm thinking about, I'm like, because I'm thinking about like early YouTube. Like, I don't really remember like it being as like algorithmic. Like I go on YouTube now, I scroll through, it's going to show videos that I most likely are related to things I've watched. Like, was it
Yeah.
doing it back then as well? I don't remember that. I remember it maybe recommend some that were popular on the site, but I don't think social media was as
It wasn't
like
as
for you
no.
tailored until fucking, I don't know, 5-10 years ago.
I don't remember how the algorithms worked, but I think they had a recommended, but it wasn't quite like
It
what we
wasn't,
have
yeah.
now.
It was more so,
No.
yeah. Some of it would be
Yeah,
based on stuff you watched, but like now it's able to
exactly.
like tell like what you like based on what you're fucking talking about and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's much easier now to it's very much more algorithmic. But yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of people end up getting discovered was on YouTube, right? Because that was a way they could put themselves out there.
And that was like such a dirty word too.
Oh, I know.
YouTuber. They're
You were a
YouTubers.
YouTuber. You found them
You're
on YouTube.
YouTube artists. Which same way they talk about people on TikTok now, which is probably the same way they talked about people on the fucking radio, which is the same way, MTV.
Yes.
Like it's just
Yeah. It's just like that old man yelling at the clouds. That's all it is.
a lot of old men
Yeah.
yelling at clouds. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, yeah, and I think that, eventually what really kicked it off, and I know it's like TikTok. When TikTok came out, that changed the game for a lot of people. I don't even know if I want to talk about Snapchat because it's a whole different beast. And
Snapchat was
how,
just for perv stuff, right?
I mean, if
Drug
now
dealing and horror stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I've tried using it. I think it's weird. I always thought it was weird, like, oh, that only stays for 6 seconds or whatever, and then it's like, no, they can't see that picture anymore, and whatever the case may be. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it I mean, brands use it though. I mean, it is like it has evolved from its origins. It is more marketing based now. Obviously, I'm sure it's still used. I mean, a lot of people still use it. A lot of younger kids still use it for communication, but it's like almost like their own text messaging now. I see a lot of them using that to message their friends. Where we're using Instagram to message people we don't know who don't have our phone numbers. They're maybe using Snapchat.
Wow. Do we need a Snapchat? I don't want to use. I don't want to
I
upload. I
don't.
don't want. No, we don't
I
need a
don't want
Snapchat.
to. I don't need a Snapchat. That's
No,
fine.
no, we don't. No,
No.
we're adults. No,
Yes, but
no.
let's talk about TikTok because when TikTok
Yes.
came out, that changed the game. Now you're uploading these videos um that are designed to be watched on your phone. They are I think they started out as 5 minutes. Was that the minimum? Because now they're 10 minutes, right? Now it's a 10-minute video
Was it
is the
5 minutes to
max.
begin with? I didn't get TikTok until like
Well, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it till like a year and a half ago. Yeah,
Same. I wasn't on TikTok in this Origins Day because I always thought I was like, well, at
that's for
first I thought it
kids.
was just for kids. It was for trends that I was like,
Yeah, I'm an adult. Yeah, once you're over the age of like
yeah,
20, the idea of a new social media platform, you're like, no,
it's
bro, like
difficult,
I'm
guys.
done.
I
I'm
know.
done. Yeah, no,
And
I
if you're
didn't.
a young kid thinking that'll never happen to me, and if you're watching this podcast for some reason,
Oh yeah,
no,
it's
it will
gonna
happen
happen
to
to
you one
you,
day.
Brennan Hirth. If you're watching this,
It will happen to you,
you
Brennan.
too will become chopped and cooked and washed, and will be like, what is this fucking
You will
fubako?
be
I'm not
Unk one
downloading
day.
this fucking shit right now. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you will be Unk one day, Brennan. Just letting you
Yeah,
know. It'll happen to
yeah,
the best of us.
yeah.
Yeah. But no, TikTok came over and it introduced the algorithm was sophisticated. It knew what you wanted to see. It's incredible in that way. And it started creating that doom scrolling that I don't even think I like until TikTok, I don't even know if I doom scrolled as much as I do now or
I've
find my
never done it. I've never even tried it one time. I've never
oh
tried.
god, it's
I've
once you
never
get on that
once.
For You page and start
uh,
going up, it's a
I don't
slippery
even.
slope.
I don't even click on that shit. I don't click on it. I can't do it. I
Smart.
know. I know
Smart.
it'll hook me. The other stuff hooks me enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's like when you're older. Like a lot of it's like, well, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna download it because a lot of the stuff from TikTok still made its way to Facebook and Instagram as well.
Yes,
Like,
and that's for a long time, that's how I saw TikToks was
yep,
once Instagram put put video on there, then I saw people reposting their TikToks on their reels. And that's how because I didn't have TikTok until what a year and a half ago, 2 years now, and some of the like emo influencers that I know and
yeah,
love,
I'd
like
see like
Matt
yeah, like
Batiste, our buddy Matt. It was
Jessica
Instagram where
Conrad or something
yeah,
on
it
Instagram.
was
Yeah,
Instagram where I saw them all first. It
that
was not
shit would make
TikTok.
me so fucking mad when I would see it on there.
Well, but that's besides the point. But regardless, yes,
Not you,
it was
Matt.
all on not
Not
you,
you,
Matt.
Matt. No, no. The other
We love
Matt,
you, Matt.
though. The other Matt. Yeah.
The other Matt, for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, which one? It's okay. We don't need to talk about
Cutshall.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's a nice guy. Just like we're highlighting the things that people bullied us over. Like I like.
The stereotypes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like we can't feed into the stereotypes here. Okay, we're like a proud, diverse culture. You know what I mean? We can't just be playing
Mhm.
into the tropes about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But TikTok came out at the time when now everyone had a video recorder in their hand that was sophisticated. Obviously, it's been improved since then, but they have sophisticated cameras that are at their fingertips to make these videos. And then the pandemic happens. And, we talked to a lot of bands, and a lot of them started like either just right before the pandemic, during the pandemic,
Yep.
and a lot of them use stuff like TikTok, Instagram Reels to start building their fan base because it's easy to post a minute and a half clip of one of your songs and be like, come follow me for more. And then if you're putting the right hashtags, we haven't really talked about hashtags, but in social media, hashtag wasn't like when I was in 2005, 2006, 2007, hashtags were not a thing on Facebook,
No.
MySpace. But then all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon in 2013, 2014 's like has the hashtag song and like made the hashtag joke with
Twitter, right? It starts with Twitter.
yeah, with Twitter and that's how they could feed the algorithm.
Uh-huh.
If you hashtagged right, your algorithm was built, right?
I love when people are really bad at hashtagging, and it's just like I really like that. Like, or when you'd see like people
the
where there's no
misspelled ones.
Yeah, or there's no need to be hashtagging. Like, you're just posting a photo of your family and there's like 13 people that follow, but they still put like the 19 hashtags or something like that because I think
Yeah.
they just think they're supposed to. Like, that kind of stuff brings me joy.
Yes, that is funny. You're like, I don't think that this needs to be on someo's For You page.
No,
It's
no,
just your
yeah,
picture of
no.
your aunt.
It's great, right? Yeah, and it's like
Take-
laughs. Hashtag aunt. Hashtag
Yes.
Christmas. Hashtag dinner. Hashtag supervised visits. Carol, please come back. Like
Yeah, I love those spirit of hashtag. But yeah, so then you start seeing that for these bands, they're able to use that to feed the algorithm, particularly on TikTok. And then people who are, putting their interest in and liking their stuff, that's building their For You page and then eventually finding other bands. There are a lot of bands that we have had on our podcast that we have found through those mechanisms or through Twitter, for example. Robb, once he joined Twitter, once his algorithm hit, when he started going to the right stuff, that's when you got really heavy into emo Twitter,
yeah, I'd
and
say
following Twitter
all
because
our
of who you
yeah,
follow.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say with the way the algorithms have changed, like, yeah, it was a way where before you'd only see basically shit you already knew for the most part. So, like, there was a
Yes.
while in the 2010s, like, people talk about, like, I think it's a common thing in our scene where, like, people just weren't discovering new bands in the 2010s, really.
No,
Like,
it's
oh, I kind
true.
of fell out of it. That's a common thing we hear. And it's like, I think part of the reason we fell out of it is harder to discover new things. I mean, I don't know if that plays into it as much as, like, growing up and maturing and different phases.
It
But,
was
like,
it was
I
harder
think,
because we weren't also using the modern social media that the younger kids were
no,
using.
yeah, yeah. And we're doing it
Yeah.
like old person style kind of thing. And we're just like seeing the things from our
Yeah.
bands over and over again. And then like
Yes.
TikTok, like I was thinking when I got on TikTok, like I assumed same thing you're saying, like it was for this, it was for kids. It was for, 13-year-olds to do synchronized dances on. But
Yes.
like if I mention like I really like that Oscar record. If I mention the Oscar record, magically 100 other people that like Oscar will see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's a small number. Like it's if you're a small band, you can make a video and your video can blow up and it's completely like it's just democratize everything. Where like everything is an even playing field now. Where some kids could be playing in their garage and get picked up by
Travis Barker.
CAA or Travis Barker or something like that. And just all it takes is one video. I mean, we talk to certain bands where it's like, yeah, like there's just this, one of our songs, our video blew up on TikTok, and
Yeah.
then we had 10,000 followers overnight after that. But like,
Yeah.
it's it's easier to find this new music now. But I think what we're seeing with like the way concert and show and touring and stuff is going, getting people to watch your video and getting people to physically invest in one, buying your ticket, two, going outside their house and going in their car and putting the keys in the ignition and driving somewhere on like a Thursday night. Like those are a lot tougher. And we've heard from bands that are very successful on social media, and getting those people to the shows is tougher. And then we've had bands like, talk about Twitter, a lot of those DIY emo bands, they'll maybe only have 2,000 followers, but they can tour regularly and have very strong followings because those fans are more fervent and a
Yes.
little less transactional than maybe you'd see on Instagram or TikTok, where people are just mindlessly like, I like that, I'll follow
Yeah.
that because it's giving me a little bit of what I want, and when it doesn't give me what I want, I can discard it.
Yeah. So at the same time, where it made it easier to connect with fans, at the same time, because so much content's now being fed to people, then it becomes fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah.
Yeah, because people are like, there's 7 bands in a row I just liked,
Yeah.
their stuff, and I might go back and check it out, but now I'm too busy doom scrolling like this. I'm gonna forget about that band that I just saw like 5 videos
Yes, you
ago.
forget about it
That's the other
very,
issue.
very, very quickly. And it's the thing too, when you're in a band, like a lot of times you need something to promote. So you'll see bands on here promoting like a new single for 3 weeks using the same clip and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because the way the algorithm works is like once people follow you, sure, like those people that follow you might see it, but every video you post, more often than not, more people that don't follow you are going to see it. So like it's still worth a chance
Yes.
to do it again. And that's how we end up with all this content that, we could, the bands even will joke about where it's, it feels very cookie cutter, but it's like, that's the
What you
stuff
have
that
to
gets
do.
rewarded by the algorithm, basically,
Algorithm,
you know?
essentially. Yeah, not necessarily being unique, but following a certain formula in order to win is what's really going to make you win. And, when we talk to these bands, this is what happens with all of this. And I think it's plays a part in a lot of social media, as people start to migrate online. And of course, the pandemic helped a lot with that because we were stuck inside for a long time. So everyone was online, right? Everyone was finding
Yes.
ways to connect online in different avenues. And that's where people started being, more so perpetually online. I think 6 hours a day is the average that's a adult will sit on their phone or in front of a screen of some kind. It might even be
Pick
higher
those
than that.
numbers up. Yeah, those are rookie
Yeah, pick those
numbers.
number up. But yeah, right. But for the bands, if for people who are creating that content, like the bands, they didn't sign up to be marketing people necessarily. And this marketing is a grind to create
Yeah.
videos every day, to be posting every day, twice a day to the algorithm when you should be making music. It's different than back, prior to 2004, maybe, and still 2004,
So I was even
2010,
even
where
up
you,
until like 5 or 10 years ago, it wasn't like
yeah,
content driven. Like
no, it was, I'm going to show up to this band's show that is like mine. I'm going to stand outside and hand out my
yeah,
CDs.
you
That's
would or
one, yeah,
you would if you were in a band. Like I remember we would be funny on our Twitter, and there'd be a bunch of people that followed us that were like, "Oh, we didn't even realize you were a band," kind of thing. It just was a funny account. But it's like
yeah,
for the most part, because for the most part, most bands you just kind of post like we're at practice. You know what I mean? Like
hmm,
promo photo, whatever it is. Like there wasn't really that like, oh, we need to fucking go do some covers on the internet kind of thing because that will get us the clicks, or make the silly videos about promoting our music. Like that wasn't a thing at all. But you didn't have to
no,
create content. You had to promote online. You had to engage with people. But social media was less about the content, more of like door to door sales back then. Of like,
yes,
okay, like I remember like even like 2014 or so, it was like, okay, you need to go, each of us needs to follow 100 people on Twitter and interact with 20 of them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that was it. It was commenting on stuff and trying to say something relevant or something. It wasn't like, let's do something that will grab their attention. That's not the music.
yeah. And then beyond that, and we haven't really talked about this either, is social media. MySpace gave bands an opportunity to friend, right? Friend people, tell them check out their music. When you get to like Twitter, when you get to like Instagram and things like that, then it becomes a place for you to invite your fans into your life
Yes.
and really start to interact. And you see like these people in bands that normally wouldn't have done that start to interact with people. And eventually
Yes.
they realize that's not really for them and they stop doing it. But now you're creating like the parasocial relationships because that's necessary to help in this day and age when people aren't really buying records, people aren't really going out and buying CDs. They are now, but like things like 2012, 2013 to like 2020, like around before the end of the pandemic, people weren't really rushing out to buy vinyls. People weren't rushing out to buy CDs like they are now because
No.
we're in this nostalgia haze at the moment. But you wanted to get these people to like, you wanted a fervent fan base to support your music in any way possible. So you started creating these like, you know, connections with them. And the best way I can think about it is Fall Out Boy because they were gone. They did a good, like Pete Wentz did a good job on his live journal, right?
Mm.
In the early days of Fall Out Boy. Then they went on their hiatus. When they came back, Vine was a thing, YouTube was big, Tumblr, Twitter, and they started all of them. Well, not Andy really, but Pete, Joe, and Patrick all engaged with fans on those mediums. I mean, Patrick Stump does not have a Twitter anymore. But people have archived his tweets because he would get on there and do Q&As,
Yeah.
get in fights with people. And that's nothing you saw. You didn't see that back then. You didn't
No,
see
not at
that
all. Not
in
at all.
2006.
It was
That was
so
not what
cool.
we
You
did.
could tweet out a
Yeah.
band you liked, and they'd
And they
respond. It was like the
responded.
coolest thing. Even if they
Yeah.
responded like a 2-word answer, it was like, wow, like yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That access became immediate, which is so
Exactly.
cool. And on the flip
And
side,
never
you can also tell people to lose weight and that they fell off and that
yeah, they're
their shit
they
sucks.
peaked already at
Yeah.
25 and they're never going to do anything else. And then that said person's going to write a whole like a whole Tumblr about how sad he is, and that everyone's gonna get worried about him, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It all turns out okay in the end.
Sometimes when people lose weight, it's not a good thing. Sometimes it's based out of stress and other things. Be nice to people.
Yes, or they're doing it for their health.
Yeah.
Yes, and for
But
anyone who's curious, we're talking about Patrick Stump
yeah,
and his
yeah,
and his y "I liked you better when you were fat."
yeah.
Everyone should read that if you get a chance, look it up. It's an interesting read.
It's heavy. I think
It's
though,
heavy.
like on that though, we're talking about all the benefits of social media and how it's helped artists. I think we'd be remiss to not discuss the ways that it has maybe hurt artists and hurt artist fan relationships and hurt innocent fans of said bands and the like.
Yes. Yep.
Obviously there's the obvious one, like the direct access leads to the weird stuff like the grooming and the like.
Yep. That
And
it does
we
do that.
we see that here, and also just the some people do need a filter. We've seen many bands just kind of, and not in a Ronald Rathke way of trying to generate heat, but in a way of like, I think I've sent to you, right, the John Mayer article where he talks about, he's like, yeah,
Yes.
my dick is like a Ku Klux Klan member, like stuff like, where it's like, people started, getting more comfortable. I mean, that's from an interview with Playboy, but people started, you're too comfortable to say things on there.
Yes.
And people are spending more time online in these echo chambers. So like your words become like a lot more dissected in the worst way, you know what I mean?
Yes, and you feel safe to say what you wanna say, not
Mhm.
realizing that maybe you don't need to say that thing out loud,
Usually don't.
or maybe you don't need to interact with that teenage girl on Twitter or DM her on Instagram. Maybe that's not what you do.
You probably don't need to do that. Yeah,
No, it's
that's gonna get you
probably a
caught
bad
up.
idea.
Yeah.
Yes, and also, obviously, because of how quick social media is, when there is a backlash, right? Um, it gets it is like when there are scandals and stuff pre-social media, it didn't necessarily it took a little bit longer to come out, right?
Oh yeah.
This gave a chance for those scandals or those bad behaviors to start coming to light a lot quicker. Now, it also ended up with backlash against the accusers. We've seen that. We've talked about that because people don't want to believe um, the victims all the time. And so you see that backlash. But then at the same time, it's also, now bands realize they need to be a little bit more careful maybe about their behavior
Yeah.
or how they do it because or if they piss off the wrong person and people can drag you through the mud on Twitter, and then it's as soon as it starts getting shared, the more and more times it gets shared, then all of a sudden it becomes a big issue, which never happened
No.
before
There's
unless it
there's
ended up on
multiple
People Magazine.
there's multiple like artists and things like that that I only hear of and I've only ever heard of because like there's a scandal that's like a nothing burger, but
Yes.
it blows up and then it just goes into my feed kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's like I don't know anything about this person, but all of a sudden I know this bad thing. You know what I mean? Which might not
Yes.
even be true, but that's all you've read about is these people being like, this guy's terrible. This happened. You're like, whoa, like this band did what? I mean, we talked about a couple weeks ago, and like Pete Wentz wore like the Dead Kennedy shirt kind of stuff. Like it blows up, and it's like, oh, this seems like this major thing, but it's like
But it's
if you take a step back or you go outside or something, nobody in the world gives a fuck about it. Like
no.
nobody at all. Like I've
Nope.
people, you see this, like we're talking, it's all anyone's talking about. I'm like, brother, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like it's just that's your algorithm telling you that, so things feel like it inflated like a bigger deal.
Yes, it really does. And so that's kind of like the bad the backlash of what social media has done. And
I think
that and creating this
the
yeah.
other backlash or the other bad part too has to be like we're talking about the content creation. Like these artists and bands, their job is not to create music. If you're releasing 12 songs over a year, that's 25 minutes of content. You need to create so much more content than that. You know what I mean? So like
Yes.
the music becomes it's the main thing there, but it's secondary in terms of what you're actually spending your time doing.
Exactly, and for a lot of people, that's not what they signed up for,
No.
and when you're a younger artist, you don't have a label right away backing you with marketing people who are doing it for you. You're doing it yourself, your girlfriend's doing it, your boyfriend's doing it, your best friend, whoever, is doing it, but you're doing it yourself, and as people who create content, it is exhausting to create that much content all the time. Um, it's just, especially if you're not used to doing that, right? And then that becomes your entire life. That's all you're doing. And that's taking away from the music as well, especially if you're not, because if you're not feeding the algorithm enough, they're not going to show your stuff. And
Yeah.
then you're going to feel defeated because your stuff's not getting shown. You're not gaining new followers because you're not posting enough. And then you're like, but if I post enough, is it the right content? So now you're worried that you're not a good marketing, you don't have good marketing skills. And not everyone is built with innate sales skills like
No.
Robb.
And well, the thing is too, like, and like with a lot of like these social media things, it became like, if you don't have these, if you're not trained in marketing, or you don't naturally have like an intuition towards that, you're just kind of going to go through the motions of, this is what I'm supposed to do, that's what I'm supposed to do, okay, we do this, and then like a lot of the times that does feel monotonous. Like, yes, it's important to a degree, it gets in front of people, but like the little individualities are what make you stick out to people, and what make people want to like invest in you, like their time and their money and their energy.
Yeah.
In like 2016, we hired these girls to manage our band. They were fresh out of USC, like the music business department. And it was like, oh, wow, like this is very smart. And they're like, you got to start making more of these more YouTube videos, this and that. So we went and made a bunch of YouTube videos, but we did like, we honestly we're kind of ahead of the game, because like we were just creating content. Like we made up this one character. Garrett was like, he was like a Bob Ross character, but he was kind of like a pervert and a cokehead. Like you'd always catch him like with like fake lines like on like on a plane. Oh, I don't want to do that. Like I'm in a band. Like if I'm gonna make a video, I'm an artist. I want to be creative. I don't want to give you the billboard. I want to give you like my version of, like an art
Sketch
house
comedy.
Yeah, my version of a sketch, or something like that's,
which is what we grew up with. Yeah, we grew up
something
with sketch comedy.
with my own touch on it. And like that kind of bands, I think of certain bands we've had on this show, even like that I have fallen in love with because of how they post on social media, where I'm just like, yo, these guys are really good at it. They don't do the paint by numbers thing, you know what I mean? Like Emway is great. Like, excuse me, who are you, on Twitter? They're unhinged. And I was just like, yo, these guys are fucking weird. That's funny to me, like you have to be creative with it, but that's not. And a lot of these people that are artists are also naturally introverted. Like you don't start playing guitar and writing songs in your bedroom because you're booked up with the football game and all the girls in your class. Like usually you're a weirdo with that, so it's tough for them to like play this fucking game. So then it becomes a matter of like, the people that are getting rewarded are people that can play this game. You know what I mean? Like it's like I see how it works now. It's like, fuck, if I just booked a show and threw some songs together, like I could easily get more people there than X, Y, or Z, because I know how to use the internet. And it's like, we're rewarding the wrong things.
Well, beyond rewarding the wrong things, now recently, in the last 6 months, we're rewarding AI, because now that AI is in the mix, you're seeing people liking AI bands content. And because people are doom scrolling, they're not really paying attention as much. So many people have been, because how sophisticated AI has gotten, have been faked out by AI and don't know what's real, what's not real. You've seen it on TikTok. You've seen it on Spotify is a big one, where so Spotify is kind of a social media app in the way, or where you can like your friends' playlists and share playlists and things like that.
Yeah.
But they have curated playlists, and they will have AI artists on them. And for a long time, up until very recently, you did not know it was an AI artist. The Velvet Sundown thing, I think, was a big
that was the big one.
turning point. That was a big turning point for everyone. And so now you're rewarding not even real people. You're rewarding a robot faked band that looks great, their features are probably stolen from several different artists. Like
that's my thing too. Is like
AI
9
actress.
times out of 10, like the types of bands that are using AI and the types of stuff doing that, the type of bands using it and the type of people falling for it, it's gonna sound fucked up. I think it lends itself to a lower IQ crowd in a way, in a sense. Like a lot of these bands where it's like I don't think the bands we're having on here, a lot of them are doing that. I think a lot of like the slop metalcore bands do that shit that will get caught up with that. You know what I mean? Where it's just, and they're not. just across. I mean, that's the type of world. That's the world we see a lot of like the issues come from now in terms of
Yes.
political stuff and
Yep.
issues like that. It's more the metalcore, heavier world. I think a lot of the more punk and emo and indie assorted acts now are very
Yeah.
rooted in like, no, we don't. I mean, I even think about like a year or so ago, Hot Mulligan used a flyer that was made with AI, and like it was a whole backlash. And
Yep.
they're like, we didn't even know it was, bro. Like we hired someone, we commissioned it. That's the tough
Yep.
part too. Like even for our show, it's like I used to go on like Fiverr or stuff like that and find graphic designers and pay them, $50-100, so much cheaper to pay them than to hire someone online that that is.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but how do you know now they're not just throwing your shit
Using
through like
AI.
using some prompts? It's tough to tell.
It is very tough to tell. Yeah.
That
And
being
it's
said,
gonna
on the topic of AI music, first off, that doesn't count. It's not music.
it's not.
I have a guy that I went to school with, and I haven't responded to him in a while because like he would send me these songs, and I was like, oh, it's really good. Like, how'd you do this? And he's like, oh, it's like AI. And I'm like, then it's not your music. Like, you're just putting
No.
words in and prompts. Like, you're writing poems. Like, that's neat. That's its own thing. That can be artistic, but like, that's not making music. That being
No.
said, have you ever heard 10 Drunk Cigarettes?
No, I have not.
It's great. It's AI. It's a great song. It's a bop. It's the hot to go for the younger generation. They're saying
Oh my
it
gosh.
goes. The chorus is like 1 new vape, 2 lines of coke, 3 drinks from the bar, 4 more lines of coke, 5 guys fries, 6 hits of my blunt, 7 more lines of coke, 8 BB belts,
Oh my gosh.
and 10 drunk cigarettes. And it's just like every song on the AI on there is like that. And it's like the amount of times they rhyme girl with world or girl with twirl on this AI record is astounding, but it's so bad. It is I gotta say, Girly Girl Productions, they're called 10 Drunk Cigarettes.
10 drunk cigarettes.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to check it out.
I'll vouch for that one robot song. That's it though.
Okay, just that one robot song. Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, I'm curious, what band do you think have utilized social media the best?
Ooh, the best?
And the worst, but the best first. Who's been the best?
Ooh, let's see. I think that in the early days, for sure, Fall Out Boy was
I was gonna say,
fantastic.
I think
He
Fall Out
went,
Boys, yeah, of early.
and honestly, in the 2010s, they were good. When you look at the modern fan base, a lot of the inside jokes
Come from
don't
the
really,
2010s.
yeah, it does not come from pre-hiatus. It comes from drunk history with Brendan
Yep.
Urie throwing up as he tells the story. It comes from their random ass vines. It comes from random videos they made for YouTube, which they don't do that anymore because now I guess, they were 30 at the cusp of being
Yeah.
too, like, just young enough to do that stuff, and now they're like 45 and it's maybe not as cool. But
I think
today,
they're very good though. I think of early social media, they are without a doubt
yes,
the best at
the
that.
best.
The best,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't say now necessarily because they're not, it's very, now all their social media is extremely corporate, in my opinion, very
Yeah,
corporate.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because they're just that big. Gosh, bands that do it really, really well. I don't know.
You remember Lil B, the bass god?
No, I do not remember
It
Lil B
was
the
like
bass
he's
god.
a Twitter character, just Lil B, the bass god. He's a rapper. I saw him at Coachella, and like he would just, he would bless people or he would curse people and stuff. Like he cursed. He cursed Kevin Durant famously, I think, was one of them. Like,
Oh my
Lil B the
gosh.
bass god was very big in like hip hop culture, and like that was a social media, like just very social media driven. Soldier Boy, same thing. Like Soldier Boy, YouTube, like is Soldier Boy the first YouTube artist? Kind of, like kind of ahead of the game there.
Yeah.
But band wise, like it's Fall Out Boy early, and I don't know who it is late. Like,
No, later. Like, I'm trying to think of like modern, like if in the 2020s, who's been really good. Smashing Pumpkins social media
Billy's
is
pretty good.
Billy's
Billy's pretty good.
I'll give him credit. I am impressed with the stuff they're putting out. I engage with Smashing Pumpkins more than I think I ever engaged
Yeah,
with
right. I know
them in my
Billy's good
life.
at it. Do you know Oliver Tree?
No, I'm not familiar with Oliver
Oliver
Tree.
Tree is sick. Oliver Tree, I think before I had TikTok, his song "Life Goes On" was like the #1 trending song on TikTok, and everything he does is in like this weird character. Like I'll send you photos. Like he wears like he has like the bowl cut and like the Janko jeans and the big glasses and the bucket hat, and just like everything is in this character, and it's like what's real, what's not kind of thing. Where it really grabs you. I could try. I think that's the only artist I can think of where it's like in the last 5-10 years where they've really, because
Grabbed
of
it.
social media, they've done well. Like, because there's
Yeah.
with like it's like we're saying, like it's this fleeting thing where people will enjoy your video, but will they actually invest in you? And
Yes.
I think for the last, like, like, is it Into It Nothing Nowhere? They do the Will It Emo.
Yeah, they do.
Like, those
Yeah.
are very good. Like, I see all those when they happen, but I don't know if I've actually heard a Nothing Nowhere song.
I only have because Pete Wentz is on one of them.
Oh, see, but you've probably heard 5 of the covers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah. I've had 5 of the covers, yeah, and that's how a lot of bands, um, there's that it's his name is Glocky. Is it Will Glocky, I think? And he has quite a voice, and he will turn songs like I Wanna Hear a Semi-Charmed Kinda Life, but as a Limp Bizkit song. And then he recreates it, and then he puts all of his music on Spotify, so you listen to all these, remade covers on
yeah.
Spotify, and then and then some original music, right? So you're seeing all that too. So it's, people like that stuff. They like that taking something old and making it or making taking something and kind of revamping it
They
into
sure
something
do.
new.
They like that a
Yes.
lot. Yeah,
Interpolation.
that seemed to
Interpolation,
be
that's
the
what we
big
call it.
thing of the 2010s. Like, I swear to God, was just like
Yes.
Alex Melton is a big one as well. He covers, like,
Mhm.
yeah, like he'll do it like in a alternative style or something like that, and
Yes.
it's like
Yeah, people
I
love
I,
it.
I like Alex Melton. He's very good, but I just, God, just fucking so much of that stuff drives me crazy because it's like, I'm sure that guy's writing very good songs, but we're just kind of all we're feeding into this, like, we already know thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Yes.
whatever we already like, we're just going back to. Like, there was this
Yes.
quote, I was gonna bring it up earlier, but there's this Tyler the Creator quote from the other day where he's talking about how, like, there's no youth culture anymore. Like, 14-year-olds and 45-year-olds can be into the same thing, which is true. It's either 14
True.
and 45-year-olds are into the same thing, or people in our age range are still so locked into the things we liked before that the new things aren't getting a chance. Because, like, with the way social media works now, like, okay, we are more clocked in, we're more tuned into the world and, like, entertainment and things like that than any of our parents' generation were. Back then,
True.
like, I was talking about the other day, like, I don't think your mom, if maybe, but for the most part, adults that age, like, if Steely Dan dropped a new album 15 years in their career, I don't think I don't think like 30 and 40-year-olds were debating the merits of the Steely Dan record the same way,
No.
like, at the same levels we are now. Like, yes, that existed, but it was always more of a weirdo niche thing. Whereas
It
now, like,
was.
we all are. So, like, oh yeah, the Used are doing this tour. Everyone knows about the Used tour because we all follow this thing and we're all still tuned into this thing. But do we know the band that's opening for them? You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah.
yeah,
No one
it's
seems to pay any attention to them, yeah.
no. I think that's a major driver in why, like, we don't hear big bands on radio or whatever the modern form of, like, mainstream institution is. You don't hear those bands anymore. I think a lot of it ties into that. Like,
Yeah.
we things got shown to us. We didn't have to search for anything anymore because with MySpace, you kind of had to go out of your way. With, like, Pure Volume, things like that, you had to go out of your way. Like, nowadays,
Yeah.
like, even music, if you want to listen to something, your Spotify is going to generate a playlist for you that's fairly accurate in regards to what you like.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go out of your way. Even then, like, you'll like that one song by that artist, but then the next one comes on by someone else, you might only know that one
Yeah.
song. You're not really diving into the
Exactly.
artist because you're not having to go buy the CD and then mentally invest yourself. Everything is the same price, and everything is right there in one place, so nothing feels special. You are competing with Taylor Swift and the Kardashians and everyone else in between there. So everything is just
Exactly.
one in the same fleeting bullshit, basically.
Yeah. And because our generation, or at least the millenniums, up until I think Gen Z might be bigger than us as far as the like, population wise, millennials, I think at the time were the largest population wise age group. So you have all these people who are
It's
feeding the
gotta be
algorithm.
less. Gotta be.
Um,
Gen Z can't be as big as us. Gen Z and
well,
Gen
Gen
Alpha
Alpha, Gen Alpha won't be because
I was gonna say, yeah,
people are having kids now.
The dogs in Gen Alpha, like, yeah, like most people our
Yeah.
age, they own dogs, so, like, yeah, there's a lot of Gen
Yeah.
Z and Gen
Lots of
Alpha,
dogs.
yeah, a lot of Gen Alpha, English Terriers, but not a lot of kids.
No, not a lot of kids. So we're feeding the algorithm and also influencing our children. And so there you see Gen Z liking millennial culture.
The same things,
You
yeah.
see, they're liking the same things we liked, and not a lot of new stuff. And that goes for music. That goes for now. There is obviously new music is coming. You know, there is still new music is being shown, is getting popular. There's still an artist that breaks out every now and then, right?
Yeah.
That gets enough clout and enough views that they start to break out. And same with like TV shows and things like that. And that's a whole other topic with the way streaming works. But at the same time, it's weird. You know, I know there are kids I knew who were like into Metallica, but maybe so was their like mom, like their dad or
Yeah.
whatever.
Older
But like
brother or
now it's
something.
like, I feel like everyone's into something that I
Bro,
was like,
Alice
that
in
came out.
Chains. Alice in Chains
Yeah.
is so fucking big now, and it's like
Deftones, another good
Deftones,
example.
massive, yeah. Like these
Like,
bands,
yeah.
they blow up online, which is cool. Like it gives bands a second chance at life, and a lot of times it's not even the bands. Like it's not like fucking Chino is over there making TikTok videos. It's just the Deftones kind of caught on, you know. Pierce the Veil, we saw that with them. You know, they like there is bountiful opportunity on here.
It is, yeah. And that's how the culture, in one way, it's been separated, but in another way, it's its own weird type of monoculture.
It really is. I'm 36. I shouldn't know what Brat Summer is. If this
But yet
was
you
30
should.
if this was 30 years ago, the 36-year-old men would not know what Brat Summer is.
Or know what unk means or cooked.
No, you wouldn't know all the. Yeah, there was a divide in things. No, and
Yes.
there is no more divide. Which in my head makes everything immediately uncool. Because if you're like 17 and you do something, and a 36-year-old
Yeah.
does it too, like that shit's fucking whack.
Yeah.
Like I'm
They don't
sorry.
say whack anymore, do they?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
They say it's chopped. I don't know.
Yeah, shit's chopped for real, for real. My new favorite is OGTS, FRFR, on God type shit. That's my new favorite
Oh
one.
my God.
I'm just slipping that into the on God type shit, you know, OGTS.
Let's do that.
Do you have anything else to say about the internet? About the internet?
Just be careful on the internet, everyone. It doesn't matter what you're doing on it. Just
What
be
kind of
careful.
careful? Like giving your money away?
Yeah, don't give your money away. Don't interact with strange accounts that just really come off as creepy. And go and take a break from social media every once in a while.
And I think it should be a law. And when I become, well, I'm probably not going to become president for a few issues. I don't poll well.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Do you see our current president? I think you could do a
I
shot.
think actually I honestly might be. Would you like to be on my exploratory committee?
Sure, I'll be on your exploratory committee.
When I'm president, it will be against the law to have a profile that doesn't have a photo of you on it. It'll be against the law to have a profile where you don't have your real name on it. You should have to have your fucking real name and your profile photo if you want to comment and engage on things. You shouldn't be allowed. And I understand, like, I'm not like, people don't really comment that much negative stuff on mine, but the few times they do, I'm always like, this isn't a me problem. This is you. Like, you're lashing out. You shouldn't be able to lash out like that and hurt other people. If you want to lash out at yourself, you know, pick up alcoholism or something. Get a journal, you know, like fucking, I don't know, stew in your own apartment, but don't like spread that misery, which is like same thing. When I was in my early 20s, stuff like that, sure, same too. I remember like, I'm sure I tweeted nasty stuff at certain things, you know, and it's like, it's chopped behavior. I was gonna say it's whack, but it's chopped behavior. It isn't. That shit is not. That is not on God type shit at all. It's bad behavior. If you're doing that, you should just ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, who am I really mad at? It's probably yourself. It's probably your dad. It's probably your mom. Yeah. Probably your mom. Probably your job. Something like that, and that's understandable. But you got to find a healthier way to take it out, because
not
just
other people
commenting weird stuff. Like, I've never once seen a video and felt the need to comment something negative. Like, just scroll past it if it's that bad. And honestly, if it's that bad, I'm going to share it around even more, because that's like fascinating, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But put your profile pictures on your profile. Like right now, go do it, everybody.
Yeah.
And your first name, and then DM us your last four of your social, and DM us a photo of the front and the back of your credit card. And tell us your mother's maiden name.
And then we'll be set.
I think we're good. We're good, right?
I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Wait, but we want to thank everyone for joining us today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
Okay, we will.
Follow us on all of our social media channels at Emo Kids Anonymous. And check out Never Phase Network, which Emo Kids Anonymous is a part of. We have some great content on there, not just from me and Rob. We have shirts
as well. Hey, with blouses, garments. There's other garments. There's bonnets, scarvery and stuff like that on there. A lot of stuff, and a lot of our friends making videos on there as well. We're just a small little part of that. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. We're about to hit 1,000 on Instagram.
I'm so excited. That's amazing.
Wow, we just crossed 1,500 on TikTok.
Yes.
So yes, we're slowly moving, and that's thanks to you guys for listening.
Thank you to you. Yes, so thank you guys for listening or watching, or both.
Yeah. Can I get a whoop whoop?
Whoop whoop.
Hey man, it's your boy Petty Hendrix, man. You tuned in to Emo Kids Anonymous. Check it out, you did.